We've got one upside down though in turn 3. We go red. And my goodness, we go red again. Red flag again.
You know what the saying is, the farther east you go, the bigger the racetracks get. And we're about as far west as you can be. So check out Silver Dollar and this bull ring.
Pretty soft.
Carly came up here earlier. Did you stick it at the top or did you stick it in the dead center of the track?
I just kind of did about center over there and entry over here, kind of towards the top. I mean, for how this place is, you're kind of just right through the middle for hot laps and qualifying. You know, the bottoms kind of stays a little mud puddly until about the heat race time. So just kind of checking out the track. Like I said, it's pretty soft. Pretty soft, but I mean, you know, it is still only, I don't know, 3:30, 4 o'clock. So they got to keep water on it.
She's not wrong. Chico is known for being super wet at the beginning of the night, and on some occasions it stays wet all night. Some nights it builds up a gnarly curve and actually gets slick. I would say though, with it being earlier in the year and them not running a lot of races, tonight is probably going to be pretty juiced up. We just built Drew a 20 to work in the racetrack. It's I think it's going to be old school Chico tonight. I just have that feeling. It's early in the season, nice and soft, probably going to be rough, so give it all we got. So all we can do is make our car as good as possible, put ourselves in position. Those were good laps. Well, went out early tonight at Chico to qualify, and sometimes going out early isn't the best spot to be because it's almost too slimy, like it's overwatered. And tonight was not like that. I've been to Silver Dollar a lot of times, and usually it takes a while for the track to come in, but today, couple laps, and it was close to the top speed. We are in Flight A. There's 44 360s, and right now, with just a couple cars left to go in our group, we are at the top of the chart. So we were in the 11-second bracket, and my first lap, you know, was okay, but my second one, I really got through 3 and 4 well, was able to open up my entry about as far as I could without getting off the track, and then had my right rear just as high up as possible to kind of get that banking and carry that momentum. I think I could have got through 1 and 2 better, so if there was maybe any time left on the table, it could have potentially been at that end, but no matter what, 2 solid laps. We'll see where we kind of pan out and where we'll start in a heat race. So we sat at quick time for most of Flight A, and then Cole Macedo went out late and bumped us down to second, which is where we ended up qualifying. Still a good effort, our car has speed, and now we're moving into a heat race, which is straight up, so we'll be rolling off from the pole, and we have to run in the top 2 to make tonight's dash. we're starting to make some changes here to our race car. Started on the pole there in that heat race and dropped back one spot. Luckily, the top two go to the redraw, so we're still going to be starting up front in tonight's A, but kind of made a little bit of a mental mistake there. I wanted to kind of get a good start. They had just tilled the bottom, and I knew that it wasn't going to be completely worked in yet, so I was kind of just trying to get my left sides in it, and I think I just caught it too much when I got on the gas. It almost turned me into the grease, basically, and I spun all the way down the front stretch. Like I said, that would just be a mental mistake. I mean, I misjudged it, and it hurt me from winning that heat. If I, you know, am leading the race down the front stretch, I definitely win it. Kind of here with how the track is, whoever's getting out front, they're kind of tough to beat. You have to get in a really good spot to slide them or pass, but hopefully the racetrack continues to widen out. It's getting there. We're really good down in 3 and 4, just like qualifying. I need to keep working on 1 and 2. I'm not getting through entry great. I tried to run it differently a couple of the laps, but I just need to nail down that end, and then we'll be really, really good. Our car's close. It's allowing me to be able to search and still feel okay, but now we're just gonna have to see where we draw, see what the racetrack does if they work it, and how it's all gonna line out for 30 laps. With a lot of cars on hand, this gave us a chance to make some changes after our heat race and also have some downtime to look at the racetrack and start preparing for the upcoming feature. The surface was getting wetter as the night went on because of some of the other classes we had with us, and this meant it was starting to get rough and soft in certain spots. So the A feature is set. They did not do a dash, but they took the top 2 in each heat race to a redraw, and we pulled a 6. Obviously, it could be worse, but I think there was a 1 and a 2 still left, so it sucks we, didn't have a, didn't end up on the front row. But we're still in a good spot. Chico, a lot is going to happen during this 30 laps. The racing surface is kind of starting to get rough, mainly on the high side, typical what we talked about earlier, like it's soft, and during the day when it's warmer, like it kind of started to lose grip, and I don't really think the grip's necessarily coming back. Well, maybe it is just in spots, but not the whole surface. It's still kind of hard, but it's kind of starting to form jumps and whoops and all that. So we're definitely going to have to get our race car good enough to where it can run multiple lines, and that's really tough. There's not a lot on the bottom right now. We're going to see if maybe they do a little bit of track prep here in a minute. I kind of hope they do to bring in that second lane. I think a lot of guys are going to be fighting for middle up, but regardless, whatever track they get, everyone's going to have, and it's all going to be about getting a good start, and important to move forward early and try to gain spots and put those guys behind us.
And we've got one upside down, though, in turn 3. We go red. Red, upside down. I believe it was Brian McCain Jr. Sharamonte up front doing business in the Tanner Holmes Enterprises car. And my goodness, we go red again. Red in turn number 2. Oh, Macedo, we got one upside down. Red flag again. And this time it's Ryan Rocha. My goodness.
Well, sometimes it's just important that you survive a night. And as a driver, I hate saying that, but sometimes you just have to be kind of real with yourself. I mean, shoot, we had 4 red flags in the first 4 laps. It took us 40 minutes to run 4 laps. Then they shortened the race. I think we maybe had another yellow and then, you know, kind of ran it there to the checkered. I really did nothing spectacular, but just tried to run the smartest race I could. My camera doesn't even do it justice. I mean, like, look at this track. Like, it was unbelievable. Gosh, I don't want to sound like I'm dogging on nothing, but I mean, this is not my thing. I'm just gonna say that flat out. I kind of just went into conservative mode, and I hate when I do that, but I was like, my best shot was where my car was, because we weren't bad, but I was kind of maybe expecting, I was wondering if the track was gonna ledge up a little bit more, and it didn't. It was just rough. So I didn't have the happiest balance, and I felt like I was best when I just ran around the bottom of both ends and tried to make as much time as possible. And it wasn't great off restarts, but once the run got going and guys started making more mistakes, I think I was one of the most consistent in the top 5, and I legitimately think I could have won the race if I would have just put together the last 5 or 6 laps a little bit better. I was just a little inconsistent on hitting my marks, which is difficult to do when it's that rough. And when that happened, Shane just snuck on by us the whole top 3. But like I said, if you look at it back, if I could have just got through 3 and 4, got through 1 and 2 a little better and made up positive time every lap, I think I would have just snuck by the leaders as they were all racing each other really hard and not really defending that inside lane. Even with me just doing my thing, like, we had a shot and we definitely could have been on the podium, and I just didn't, you know, put it all together to make it happen. But nonetheless, a top 5 and a chance for us to kind of keep building up. See, I thought about going out there and trying to run the top, and under the yellow, I was looking at it and I figured, like, man, if I just run in this perfect line, it might be smooth. I almost talked myself into it, and I tried it once and went backwards. And at that point, like I said, I just tried to be smart, because as we're trying to get through our season, and don't get me wrong, it does happen, but, you know, me wrecking cars left and right is not contributing to our success, even if I'm putting 100% to win the race. Don't get me wrong, like I said, that does happen sometimes, but I think there's situations when you have to go balls out. There's situations where, hey, you just need to let it ride and see what happens, kind of roll the dice. But anyway, glad that we brought the 18T home and we live to run another day. The pit area is almost empty though now, and we're just finishing up some work on our car so we can race again tomorrow. One thing to remember, we're working good together. Our car's getting faster. If a bad night for us or an okay night is, you know, a top 5 run, then hey, that's progress in the right direction. We just got to keep putting ourselves in position. We got to keep timing in well, got to keep getting through our heat races and putting ourselves in redraws or dashes or whatever the series normally does, and just keep giving ourselves opportunity. That's the name of the game, and if you don't put yourself in a spot to win the race, you're not going to win, you're not going to have a chance. So thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate your support. Let me know what you thought of tonight, and if it looked as rough as it felt, and how I'm going to feel tomorrow waking up. But yeah, anyway, thanks guys. I'll see you in the next one. Love you all. Deuces.